My chest seized, a vice crushing my lungs. I gasped, the world tilting. Cold sweat erupted, each drop a tiny explosion of ice on my skin. Laird's words echoed.
Nothing. It's like it vanished.
I shouldn't have slept, but exhaustion dragged me under. And what a dream it was. Vivid, terrifyingly real. I stood at the edge of the Crimson Trail, darker now, pulsing like a vein leading to the basement. My stomach churned. Each step down was a descent into dread. The air grew thick, heavy with damp earth and something ancient, something wrong. A low hum vibrated through the floor, a tremor in my bones. The basement loomed. It had always unsettled me, a sense of something wrong lurking in the shadows. In the main room, Nicole stood with her back to me. Her shoulders shook, whimpers escaping her lips. "Nicole?" I called. The trembling stopped, but when she turned, her eyes didn't meet mine. Something was off with her.
"We never leave,"
she whispered, a chilling echo.
"We never leave."
The Crimson Trail snaked into the unfinished room. The door was gone, splintered wood littering the floor. The room was a void, darkness so complete it pressed against my skin. Yet, I saw a figure, human-shaped, roughly my height. It wasn't the creature, though. It stretched out an arm, then vanished, yanked back into the abyss. Nicole, on all fours, crawled after it. I tried to move, to stop her, but I was frozen, a prisoner in my own nightmare. I jolted awake, 8:13 a.m., safe. For now. The dream was too real, the details too sharp. It was a message, a summons. I had to go back. Nicole wanted to leave, to run. Part of me agreed. But the dream, it was pulling at me, an insistent whisper. I lied to Nicole. One last trip from my car. The house swarmed with cops, but something was different. The air was thick with tension, a sense of unease that went beyond the usual crime scene buzz. Laird's face was drawn.
Still nothing,
he repeated, his words laced with tension. Laird was evasive, his eyes darting away when I asked about my laptop.
Virus,
he mumbled, a flimsy excuse. I felt it again, something hidden, a lie. I knew it, but I didn't argue. Not yet. As I walked to my car, I remembered the game cameras, a chance to see what they were hiding. I'd go back that night. A stupid, reckless plan, but I was being drawn back to the darkness. I nervously drove around until nightfall. Finally, I made my way back to the house at about 9:30. Suffocating silence, broken only by the frantic pounding of my own heart. The house was empty. No cops, no forensic teams. Just a couple of hours ago, this house was so lively. But now, the silence was unnerving. The house felt empty, yet watched. I had to try and find some answers before I went insane. Inside, the scene mirrored my dream. The Crimson Trail, the broken door, the suffocating darkness. I felt like I was reliving it. I wanted to turn around, but instead I found myself at the top of the stairs. I hesitated, then descended, each step a surrender to dread. The basement door was a shattered mess. The crimson stain disappeared into the black maw of the unfinished room. I took a step, and the floor screamed. Then, I heard them. Whispers rising from the darkness. Voices, multiple voices, speaking in a language I didn't understand, yet somehow I could feel it. These had to be the voices Mrs. Case was hearing when she lived here. They argued, murmured. A cacophony of dread.
Does anyone remain?
One voice rasped.
Highly in the dark.
Another whispered. A woman cried, a sound that chilled me. I took another step. The floorboard groaned. The whisper stopped. The crying ceased. Silence, absolute and terrifying, descended. I ran. Forget the truth and forget those game cameras. I didn't want to end up in the basement with whatever was down there. I didn't stop until I reached my car. As I started the engine, I saw it. The creature. He was facing away from me, looking inside my house. As if it knew I was looking at it, it turned its head 180 degrees to look at me. We locked eyes. It wore the same confused look on his face that he had when I accidentally discovered him a few nights ago. It mouthed something, a word I couldn't understand, and sprinted into the house. I'm writing this from my parents' beach house, over 400 miles away. Nicole is here, but the fear is a constant companion. I still look over my shoulder every time I hear the settling of this house, or the crackling of the AC as it turns on. We'll try to forget, but last night, I dreamed again. I was back in the basement. Nicole was there, her eyes still averted. The crying was closer, and this time, I understood what she was whispering. It wasn't "we never leave." It was something far more terrifying. She was whispering my name over and over, each repetition laced with a chilling intimacy. Then, the creature's voice, raspy and close, echoed in the darkness, answering her call.
He's coming. He's coming home.